I mentioned that I ran in college, but when I was in high school, I ran as well, and I had suffered 2 stress fractures in different seasons. A stress fracture is you run so much your bones start to crack, basically, and it's painful. And the best recovery is to just stop bearing weight on the bone that's injured. So you're in crutches for about 6 weeks. 6 weeks is kind of a baseline for how long it takes bones to heal. So my junior year of track, I got a stress fracture just before the state championship meet. It was devastating because I had spent all this time and effort training, and I had to sit on the sidelines in crutches and watch my teammates run without me. And that was really hard. And my senior year of high school and cross country, kind of the same thing happened. I had a goal to run in college just because I thought it would be cool to be a college athlete, and I knew that athletic scholarships were available, and it's just something I was passionate about and I liked, and so I wanted to continue it. So I worked really hard, and I ended up getting a stress fracture in the other leg. And I think part of that was I kind of overcompensated and I came back too soon, too fast. And so I was so afraid about hurting my leg, my right leg again. My right tibia is where I had my first stress fracture. That I kind of overcompensated, and I developed a stress fracture in my left femur the next season. And so at that point, I almost gave up on running, and I was like, this is just not for me. I'm not meant to do this. And I guess I just won't be a college athlete, and it is what it is. And I almost didn't even want to compete my senior year in track. But I had a coach, an older coach, and I had this conversation with him, and I asked him, I was like, what would it take for me to run in college? And he's like, well, I think if you ran these times, he told me like a 156 in the 800 and like a 425 in the mile. He's like, I think you could at least walk on to, the team that I was considering. And I was like, oh, that doesn't seem quite as challenging as I thought. That's faster than what I've run previously, but maybe I could get there. I had a higher expectation of what I needed to achieve in my head. So I was like, maybe it won't be so difficult. But I did a lot of research and learned how to cross-train. I ran with like a float belt in the pool so that I could develop my leg muscles in the same way that running does without the impact of running. And it was still a way that I could get my heart in good shape, my cardio up to speed. And my senior year, I did really well. I became a state champion and ended up signing to run in college, and it was really fun and all those things. But the reason why I mention that experience is that, like right now, I have uncertainty about my future, my specialty, what I want to match into. Am I going to be smart enough? Am I going to get a good enough board score to match into what I want to do? But I think back on that experience and think, I've done hard things. I overcame something I thought I couldn't. And all it took was, just taking it a day at a time, focusing on the next meet, the next goal. Before the start of that senior season, I had an ultimate goal of what I wanted to reach, but I broke it down into like sub goals of, this is the ultimate time that I want to run, but I also want to run this time because it was like our school record. And I also want to run this time because this is the time that my coach told me that he thinks I can get. And I want to run this time because, it's my current PR. And then I want to break, 2 minutes at this point because that's a good start to the season. So I broke it down in these like more manageable chunks of like achieve this and then focus on the next part. And I think that helped. And so I guess when it comes to how do I manage fear and uncertainty, a lot of it is just thinking back on past experiences where I've accomplished hard things, recognizing that, what are the lessons or the things that I learned from that? How can I apply that to what I'm currently facing? And then just going for it. Like the more and more people I interact with in medicine too, like I realize everyone's human, everyone makes mistakes, everyone asks for help. Nobody's got everything figured out. A lot of it's trial and error. You learn over time with experience, and that kind of gives me hope too. Kind of recognizing that everyone has some level of fear or uncertainty
yes.
in their career or what they do.